and I had no clue what to do. But I knew I would die to set Cora free.
Chapter 2. Cora. Get up! The toe of a boot landed on my side. I bit my bottom lip and winced. I gingerly rolled over away from Jenkins and held my side. Stop, I wheezed. Don't tell me what to fucking do. Get your ass up and into the house. 10 seconds ago, Jenkins had opened the back of the SUV, pulled me out by my feet, and I had dropped to the gravel. Now he wanted me to stand up and walk like I hadn't been curled up in a ball and in and out of consciousness for God knows how long. I remembered stopping twice for gas, but each time I had barely been able to raise my head from the dirty, gritty floorboard. I can't. Jenkins grabbed a fistful of my hair and yanked my head back. You got 30 seconds to get your ass in that house before I rip all your fucking hair out. He twisted my hair in his hand. My scalp burned, and I knew he wasn't joking around. I scrambled off the ground, falling back down for a second before I finally got to my feet. I was bent over at the waist, my hands on my knees, and I struggled to breathe. Now fucking walk. Jenkins moved behind me, with his hand at my back. If I didn't move fast enough, he was going to push me, and I knew that if he pushed me, I would fall, and then I wouldn't be able to get up again. It took everything I had to shuffle my feet down a path toward a dark, dilapidated shack. Where are we? I asked. Jenkins laughed dryly. Like I'm going to fucking tell you that. It wasn't like I had my phone on me or had a way to tell someone where I was. Everything had happened so fast that I didn't have time to think. Jenkins was going to kill Brinks if I didn't volunteer to go with him. I hadn't seen my brother in a while, but I knew him better than Brinks did. It sounded crazy, but I was confident I could survive being with him. I had for 28 years before I wound up in the Fallen Lord's clubhouse. I made it to the door. Jenkins grabbed a fistful of my shirt and he reached around me. He pounded on the door and leaned back. You and Susie are going to be best friends. Who in the hell was Susie? My question was answered when the door whipped open and a woman my height stood there. Her hair was bleach blonde, her eyes were piercing blue, and she had a wicked sneer on her lips. About fucking time you got here. I figured you were dead or arrested. Neither. Jenkins pushed me forward. I did exactly what I wanted. Got rid of the trash and got our next bargaining chip. Susie looked me up and down. Looks like you played rough with the merchandise. She stepped to the side and Jenkins pushed me through the door. She needed a bit of convincing. I stumbled through the doorway and squinted into the darkness of the room. She's not going to be worth much. Shut the fuck up, Susie. You don't know what the hell you are talking about. She just needs to be cleaned up. Susie curled her lips. If you say so, Jenkins. I do fucking say so, he mumbled under his breath. He grabbed my arm and dragged me over to the kitchen. The house we were in was more like a one-room shack. Kitchen in one corner, living room in another, what I assumed was a bathroom, and then in the far corner, a long table stood with pieces of guns and lots of knives laid out on it. It looked like Jenkins was getting ready for a war. He grabbed a bottle of water and held it out to me. Fucking drink this. What do you care if I drink that or not? I retorted. He grabbed me by the hair and yanked my head back. Because you're not worth anything to me dead, sister. His eyes flared. Drink the fucking water. I grabbed the bottle and clumsily twisted off the top. I was dying for a drink, but I didn't want Jenkins to think that I would do whatever he told me to. Where are we? Jenkins just glared at me. Drink, he growled. Tell me where we are, I demanded. Even kidnapped and beaten, I still had my take-no-shit attitude popping up. It was Jenkins' own fault. He was the one who had made me this way. Why, so you can tell your fucking boyfriend? Jenkins spat. I growled. I don't have a boyfriend. I wasn't a fucking teenager. Brinks was not my boyfriend. That's not what we heard, Susie sang out. You've been knocking boots with that backstabbing biker for months. Shut it, Jenkins shouted at Susie. What have I told you about talking when you're not supposed to? Susie snapped the gum in her mouth and folded her arms over her chest. You didn't mind me talking last night.